guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I just filmed a haul video and I was sitting here and I thought to myself, maybe I should film this video now that I have a couple minutes. So sorry for the shadow, but this is what I'm working with. So this video is going to be the story of me and John and how we met. A few of you might know very little details about it because I've kind of said it here and there in like a Q&A or something like that. But this is going to be kind of like the story, the timeline, kind of the us story. So back in 2009, late 2009, about July or so, I lost my job. I got laid off from my job. I was about to start my last year of college to get my bachelor's, and my mom had died about almost a year, 11 months before that. I was newly living on my own, so I was like screwed because I really, I needed to work at that point. I was working 2 jobs and school full-time. So I got on unemployment, so I was fine. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay on unemployment and focus on my last year of school, and I'm just gonna like cut out guys in general, in the sense of like anybody I was talking to or anything like that. Like I was just gonna focus on me and focus on talking to people who was gonna get somewhere, just not all these pointless, relationships. So I was on Craigslist looking up jobs every day, every morning. It was part of my ritual. I would get up, I would go to the gym, I'd get home and look up jobs and apply to jobs, and just was always looking for a job, even though I kind of had in my mind that I was just going to take it easy. I had never been in school without working, so I wanted to just focus on my last year, but I was also like looking for a job if there was something better out there. So then I noticed this little tab that said personal ads or something like that, and I was like, I never knew they had ads on Craigslist. So I would read them and I would laugh because some of them were very out there and some of them were just like, what? This is crazy. So it became part of my routine, right? So I would look for jobs and then I would go read the ads. Like, I don't know, it was just fun. So that's what I did. So I started thinking, maybe I should put an ad up. So what would I write if I was writing an ad? And every day I would think and think, and I'm like, I have no idea. I do not know what to write. I don't know what I want. How do you write an ad? So this morning I wake up and it's August 20th of 2009, and I wake up and I'm reading and I come across an ad and I was like, oh my God, that is word for word what I would write if I had posted an ad. So I hit reply and I replied to this person and I said exactly that. This is exactly what I'm looking for, exactly what I would write if I was posting an ad or some cheesy thing like that. And the person on the other side was John. So it's crazy because we met through Craigslist. He could have been the Craigslist killer. He can still be the Craigslist killer. This is just crazy. So I was not opposed to online dating. I had talked to people through like dating sites and stuff like that, but Craigslist, it just seemed odd. So whatever, we spoke. I sent him a picture, he sent me a picture. He didn't really look familiar, but to him I looked very familiar, and he thought I was a specific girl that he had gone to school with and all this, so he thought he kind of knew me, but he never told me that. So whatever. This day I went to the beach with friends, and me and him were riding back and forth all day, and that's kind of how it started. And I didn't meet him in person. I think it was about a week or 2, but before that we were on the phone for about 4 hours just talking. And if anybody knows John now, he hates talking on the phone. He hates it, and even at that point he said he hated it, but the conversation was just flowing and flowing, and before we knew it we were talking for 4 hours on the phone. And we figured out that we had a college class together at one point, and I remember him, like later on I started thinking and talking after we were like together for a while. I remember he was always a kid who walked in late with a backwards hat, and guys, I hated his backwards hat. And I remember thinking, he had a big book bag. I remember thinking, this kid's always late. Mind you, that's the story of our life. John is always late. And previously to us meeting on Craigslist, we had he had wrote to me through another dating site, and I had sent me a picture, and I had told him, sorry, you're not my type. And when he sent me a picture this time, it was like 2 years later. He looked a little bit different, but not only did he look a little bit different, but my mindset was different. So I feel like that made a big difference. Like, he wasn't my type back then, because who knows what I was looking for or what, but now my mindset was different. My mom had passed, my life was different, and when I saw his picture this time, I didn't even connect it to the guy I told that wasn't my type. And he always said on our wedding day, he was gonna say, nope, sorry, you're not my type. But yeah, so that's how we met. We met on Craigslist, and then we met up about a couple weeks later. And I remember I was a total bitch on our first date, and I guess I can go into detail in another video if you want to know about me and John's first date, maybe get his input on it, because that would be funny. But I was very sarcastic and mean, and it was because I was so nervous. And at the end of the date, when he dropped me off, I said, okay, bye, and I gave him a kiss, like super fast. I was like, bye, and I left. And I did that because I wanted him to know that I was interested, and I was kind of sorry for being that way. I don't know, it was crazy. But since that day, we were like inseparable, and I hated his backwards hat. And I used to tell my friends, I was like, but he wears his hat backwards, and they were like, are you kidding me? I'm like, yes, he wears his hat backwards, I don't like that. And we were inseparable. And for about 3.5 months, I think, after that, he moved, so that was August. He moved in August 31st, we made it official, and he moved in to my house in like November. He moved in with me, and then in December 19th of 2009, he asked me to marry him, and of course I said yes. And I can do a whole video on our proposal. And then, okay, so we lived together, I graduated, I started working, and then in 2011 we got married. So it was about what, 2 years, just about 2 years since we got engaged. So we did move in quickly, we got engaged quickly, but then we waited 2 years to get married. So everything kind of went quickly. And there's some people who are like, wow, that's so fast, like you move fast. But John before me was with somebody for 10 years, and so it's like he knew what he wanted and what he didn't want. And you know, I wasn't with somebody that long, but I was with a lot of just nobodies, and so it was kind of like I knew too, and that was what drew us together, that we both knew what we wanted, and we knew that we didn't want to waste any time. And so that's how it worked. And for some people that works, for some people you have to date a lot longer, but for us, that's what worked, and we both knew. And here we are 7 years later, so we knew something. So yeah, so then we got married, and then we got married in August 20th, so the same day of this date we met. We started talking, like the day I answered his ad was August 20th. We got married August 20th, and then December, I found out I was pregnant with Phoenix, or October. So it was just a few months after we got married, we started trying, because I really wanted a baby. We really wanted to start a family. We started trying. We got pregnant with Phoenix pretty much right away. And then Phoenix was 13 months old. Well, no, then we were due with Phoenix. And in July, John lost his job while I was pregnant. And in August, 2 weeks before I had Phoenix, I lost my job. So that whole first year, we were both on unemployment and with a new baby, and it was crazy. But if we made it through that, we can make it through anything, because that was tough. And then when Phoenix turned a year, I think it was like 13 months when I found out I was pregnant with Avery, and that was definitely not planned on my part at all. Like the first thing I said when I saw Phoenix was, oh, I'm so sorry you're gonna be an only child, because I was terrified with the process that happened with him. But now we are extremely grateful for Avery. We could not imagine life without her, and I think that we're done having kids, but who knows. So then we had Avery. Phoenix was 23 months when Avery was born, so they're 23 months apart. And then that's it. Now we've made 5 years married and 7 years together. So it's been a bumpy, crazy, up and down road, but through the whole thing we've been there for each other, which is what counts. And we have our ups and downs. We're not perfect by any means, but we're together and we're trying our best. And I think that's what's important, when you try your best. And that's all you can do in marriage, right? So if there's anything else you guys want to know, any other stories I kind of touched on that you want more details, let me know. But I just thought, since we just made 5 years married and we just made 7 years together, I feel like 5 and 7 are big numbers. Like 5 years married is a milestone, and you know, 7 years total is like that 7-year itch. So I felt like that's like a big thing. So I thought I would make a video and kind of tell you guys how we met, and how he could have been the Craigslist killer and I could have not been here making these videos. Anyways, and how I told him he wasn't my type. Like, so crazy how the world goes around. And like, that first time we met, we probably were not meant to be together at that moment. Our lives just needed more before we were ready for each other, and then we ended up meeting. So if you are somebody who's searching for your soulmate or your husband or something, just know that he's out there. And when the time is right, it definitely will happen. Because if you would have asked me 5 years, 7 years ago, where I would have been at this point, I don't think I would have said I would have been a mom of 2, married for 5 years, and with somebody for so long. Like, I would have, this is what I dreamed and what I wanted, but I don't think I would have felt like this is what I would have gotten. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I am going to post our wedding highlights soon, so stay tuned for that, so you can see a snippet of our wedding and what it was like 5 years ago. Crazy. And see you guys in my next video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Leave a friendly comment below and let me know how you met your husband or boyfriend or significant other, or anything like that. So see you guys next time.